So in this video, I'm going to explain preparatory functions. So while writing the CNC part programming, the preparatory functions and miscellaneous functions are very important. The preparatory functions are G codes. What are the general G codes are used in part programming? I want to explain in this video. In the context of computer numerical control machining, preparatory functions are commonly referred to as G codes. G codes are a standardized language used to control CNC machines and specify various operations and motions. A letter address G and specific numerical codes allow communication between the controller and the machine tool. The program block may contain one or more G codes. Preparatory functions are used to set up the mode in which the rest of the operation is to be executed. The specific G codes supported by a CNC machine may vary depending on the manufacturer and machine configuration. Here are some common preparatory functions G codes used in CNC machining I want to explain. First, G00, that is rapid positioning. This code instructs the machine to move at its maximum speed to a specific position. It is typically used for non-cutting movements when the machine needs to quickly traverse from one point to the another. G01, linear interpolation. The G01 is used for linear movement between 2 points at a defined feed rate. It instructs the machine to move along a straight line in a controlled manner. The feed rate is usually specified with the F parameter. G02 or G03, that is a circular interpolation. The circular interpolation G02 and G03 are used for clockwise and counterclockwise circular motions respectively. These codes define the center, radius, and direction of the circular path. They are commonly used for contouring or creating curved shapes. G04, well, that is a pass. G10, coordinate system data input. G17 or G18 or G19, that is a plane selection. These codes specify the plane in which the machine will operate. G17 selects the XY plane, that by default, and G18 selects the ZX plane, and G19 selects the YZ plane. The selected plane determines the coordinate system for subsequent movements. G20 or G21, that unit selection. Unit selection G20 sets the machine to work in inches, while G21 sets it to work in millimeters. These codes determine the unit of measurement for subsequent movements and dimensions. G28, return to home position. G30, return to secondary home position. G32, thread cutting. G40 or G41 or G42, cutter radius compensation. These codes are used to adjust the tool path to account for the cutter radius. G40 turns off cutter compensation. G41 applies cutter compensation to the left side of the path, and G42 applies cutter compensation to the right side of the path. G43, G44, tool length compensation. G43 enables tool length compensation, allowing for variations in tool length. G44 cancels the two-length compensation. So G49 two-length compensation cancel also used. And the G53 mission coordinate system selection. And the G54 to G59 used for work coordinate system, that is work coordinate system 1 to 6. Each work coordinate system has its own horizon and coordinate axis, enabling precise positioning of the tool relative to the workpiece. G61 exact stop mode, G64 continuous mode, G70 finishing cycle, G71 multiple turning cycle, G72 multiple facing cycle, G73 pattern repeating cycle, G74 end phase spec drilling cycle, G75 grooving cycle, G76 multiple thread cutting cycle, G80 cancel motion mode. This command cancels any motion mode previously set, such as the can cycles or drilling cycles, etc. G90 absolute programming, G81 drilling cycle spot drilling, G82 drilling cycle counter boring, G83 drilling cycle pet drilling, G84 tapping cycle, G85 boring cycle feed out, G86 boring cycle feed in, G90 or G91 distance mode selection. G90 specifies absolute distance mode where coordinates are given relative to the mission's reference point. G91 specifies incremental distance mode where coordinates given relative to the current position. G92 coordinate system offset, G98 feet per minute, G99 feet per revolution, G161 scaling mode on axis dependent scaling, and G162 scaling mode off, G163 scaling mode on, that is uniform scaling, it's not axis dependent. Likewise, several G codes are used. So please note that the availability and functionality of specific G codes may vary depending on the CNC mission, control system, and software being used. Additionally, mission manufacturers may also define custom G codes for specific functions or features. I hope everyone can understand what are the in general preparatory functions are used for preparing CNC part program.